When discussing islands, most people picture sunny locations with pristine, unadulterated natural beauty where you can laze about on the beach all day. However, not every island is a piece of paradise. On our Earth, there are some islands of horror that draw tourists not for their beautiful beaches but for their eerie curiosity. Here are some names of spooky, haunted islands across the world that you wouldn't want to visit, from former jails and mental institutions to hotbeds of paranormal activity. Let's start the countdown, but first subscribe to our channel for more. Number 10. Corregidor Island, Philippines. Without Corregidor Island, the island where one of the worst mass suicides in human history occurred, this list of the world's scariest islands wouldn't be complete. The island was seized by the Japanese during World War II in 1942, but the Americans eventually recovered it back in 1945. After the final fight, 3,000 Japanese forces made the decision to barricade themselves inside the island's many underground tunnels in order to evade capture. Some of these Japanese soldiers, according to local lore, never left the island. Number 9. Hart Island, USA. Several reports claim that there are over 1 million persons interred in Hart Island's underground trenches. This unsettling island has formerly functioned as a prison, a women's institution, a Cold War missile station, and a yellow fever quarantine area. There is a good reason why Hart Island is referred to as the Island of the Dead. Mass graves have already contained approximately 85,000 bodies, and this number is still growing. Inmates have previously reported numerous incidents of unexplained activity on the island, which is now the location of a jail. Number 8. Deadman's Island, Canada. No island has a better name than Deadman's Island when it comes to eerie island names. The historical record of what transpired on this island after the Squamish people had lived in British Columbia states that something really weird took place. The southern tribes on the island defeated the northern tribes in battle, killing 200 northern warriors right there and then. On the same area where they had thrown the dead, the southerners discovered flaming fire flowers the following morning. They abandoned the island in horror at this point. Additionally, during the past 100 years, the list of eerie activities on this island has expanded. Numerous witnesses report hearing noises of breaking glass, strange screams, eerie chanting, luminous eyes in the fog, enigmatic lights, etc. Number 7. Isla de las Munecas, Mexico. Julian Santana Barrera was the sole inhabitant of this island in the 1950s. He discovered the body of a young girl who drowned inexplicably one day at the seaside. According to legend, Julian was haunted by the girl's spirit, and in an effort to appease her, he began hanging dolls from any trees he could find on this unsettling island. Recent reports claim that witnesses saw the dolls move and whisper in the night. To add to the strangeness, 50 years after discovering the girl's body, Julian committed suicide by drowning. Number 6. Isle of Wight, UK. On the island, there have been many tales of paranormal activity, but two areas in particular stand out. The Royal Hospital for Chest Diseases used to be located at the same location as the Botanic Gardens, which is the first one. Numerous others reported seeing weird individuals moaning and sobbing in the garden. The other is Knight and Gorge's historic manor home. Since the 1800s, this home has been dismantled. But every New Year at midnight, a reputed ghostly apparition of the manor is said to materialize. Anyway, visitors to the Isle of Wight aren't deterred by these two allegedly haunted locations. It's actually among the top vacation spots in the UK. Number 5. Isolo Agaiola, Italy. The island of Isolo Agaiola merits special attention while discussing haunted places. This abandoned island in the Gulf of Naples used to represent prosperity. However, a string of unlucky enigmatic incidents changed this. The owner's body first surfaced inside a carpet roll in the 1920s. The following owner was Otto Grunbach of Germany, although not for long. He had a heart attack not long after purchasing the house. The following owner, a Swiss pharmaceutical entrepreneur, committed suicide. The following owner and CEO of Fiat, Gianni Agnelli, too had comparable suffering. The next owner was his nephew, who passed away from a very uncommon form of cancer. Shortly after purchasing the island, the previous owner was kidnapped. Since then, Isolo Agaiola has been for sale. Number 4. Poveglia, Italy. This island operated as a bubonic plague quarantine site in the 1800s. Several reports claim that residents who showed even the smallest symptoms of disease were forcibly relocated here. If these tales are accurate, then almost 50% of Poveglia's soil is made up of human skeletal bones. The island was transformed into an asylum in the 1930s, where a psychiatrist subjected the prisoners to horrible experiments. The doctor eventually lost his mind and jumped from the island's bell tower. Locals maintain that despite the bell tower's removal, they can still hear it booming off the remote island. Number 3. Doxa, Croatia. Since 2013, the owners of Doxa have been trying unsuccessfully to sell the island, eventually dropping the asking price to $1.5 million. For a 12-acre private island with numerous historic structures, this price is absurd. Not only is there no buyer for this island, but no one wants to go near it at all. In 1944, 53 alleged Nazi collaborators were brutally massacred in Doxa, and their bodies were left to fester in the open. There have been several reports of paranormal activity ever since. Locals on the island found a number of mass graves in 2009. Number 2. Vozrождение, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan border. During the Soviet era, Vozrождение, Rebirth Island, was one of the largest biological experimentation stations in the world. Today, it is one of the world's scariest haunted islands. On the island, the bubonic plague, anthrax, and smallpox were genetically modified, costing many lives in the process. The impacts on livestock were also observed after the scientists dispersed these compounds into the air. In 1988, officials covered the whole stock of anthrax in bleach, placed it in stainless steel drums, and buried it in an effort to cover up the evidence of their weaponization efforts. Anthrax began leaking through the soil as a result of this plan's failure. The groundwater and the island's soil were both contaminated by this. As a result, the entire eastern basin of the Aral Sea has dried up completely today. It makes sense that this terrifying island is known as a ticking time bomb in the center of Asia. Number 1. Alcatraz, USA. You've probably seen some of the films made about the fabled Eerie Island prison or heard tales about the legendary cell Block D, which was known by a number of spooky nicknames but is best known as the Hole. So it should come as no surprise that Alcatraz is frequently brought up when discussing dark tourism. When it comes to paranormal activity, this is the prison's busiest area. According to rumors, there were a number of times when prisoners screamed in terror throughout the night, saying they were being strangled by an evil being. Which island do you wish to visit? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy watching horror videos like this one.